Go to a lesser school. Anybody heard of that before? Oh, you can go to Palomar, save some money. I do agree that that is a way to save money. It just really depends on the student. So a lot of times, if the student's driven, I believe that they can make it through that program and go off and go to the next level. Okay, but sometimes I like to say, if you assess a student and you feel like they need to be in the environment that everybody's working towards the same goal in order to continue to be able to thrive there, that's when you want to look at a four-year university for them. Because at Palomar or any sort of community college, you have all different types of people going to school there. And so I always like to say, if you can get them into a four-year university and you can afford it right off the bat, then I would do that. But it is a way to be able to reduce the cost. There are a few things that parents need to know about it, and students too. Number one, you have to go talk to a counselor at the community college, because there are specific courses and different disciplines that they need to take to be able to transfer. And everybody believes that, or a lot of times people come in and go, well, aren't they guaranteed to get into a UC or a state school? You are guaranteed to get into a state school or a UC, but it's not always the one of your choice. So as an example, UCLA's minimum GPA to be able to transfer to their university as a junior is a 3.4. The average that they accept there is a 3.6. So your students should be doing their due diligence ahead of time to find out, hey, if you want to go into engineering at UCI, the minimum GPA to transfer into your engineering department is a 3.2. If the student just trucks through at community college and they get a 3.0 or 3.1 and didn't know about that minimum GPA to be able to transfer, they just lost out on the opportunity to be able to go to the engineering department at UCI. Does that make sense? So it's really important that you plan that out. Just because a student comes in and says, well, I'm just going to go to community college for a couple of years and then I'm going to transfer. I mean, there's some things that they really need to get in order to be able to do that. So if your students think about doing that, it's to their advantage to go and look into what's required to be able to do that, like now, like sooner than later, right? Okay. So what else did I say about that? And it's also becoming more and more difficult because of class availability for a student to make it through in 2 years. So a lot of times my students that have come to me and they're going to junior college right now, they're taking about 2.5, 3 years, because if you have X amount of courses that you need to take and you start to dwindle down to the last 4 that you need to take to be able to go, if you can't get those 4 classes as an example, you just push yourself out another semester. Right, so these are things that parents and students should be thinking about. Okay, so not go at all. I know that's really not an option, and otherwise we would be here, right? The one thing I wanted to mention is, who's heard of Whittier College before? Okay, so Whittier College's average GPA to get in there is a 3.1. The average GPA to get into Cal State Long Beach is like a 3.4, 3.5 right now. So if your student happens to be a 3.3, it'd be worth it, or 3.4 to apply to Whittier. I mean, oftentimes you'll get a minimum of a $12,000 merit-based scholarship. Whittier College is a small liberal arts school, and they've got some pretty interesting programs. It's in Orange County. Well, it's a little north of Orange County, in between Orange County and LA. And so with them, I don't know if you all know, but they have a 3-3 program for law. So I have some students that really would love to go into law, and you do 3 years at their undergraduate, and you do 3 years at their law school. So that's something to look into. They also have a 3-2 program for engineering. You do 3 years at Whittier, and then you go to one of their corresponding schools like USC, and you do 2 years there, and you get a degree from USC as well. So there's so many different programs.